Hi everyone, welcome to the Ever-Seeking Empath. I'm a reader who uses tarot, oracle, and charms, and today's reading is just a generic what messages do you need to hear kind of video today. So we've got a little bit of a fall theme going with the feathers. We've got hedgehogs in the background that are super cute, and we've got kind of a fall candle back there. But yeah, we're just going to try to figure out what messages you need to hear right now. Before we get started, I want to remind everyone that this is a general reading, so it might not resonate for everybody, so just take the messages that you feel are meant for you and disregard the rest. Also, if you enjoy this video, please hit that like button for me and subscribe to my channel if you've not already done so, because it really does help out the channel a lot, and then you get to see when I've posted new content right away, you get notified, and thank you so much to those of you who have already subscribed. I truly appreciate it. So we have three piles here today. We have three different feathers from the Divine Feather Messenger. So pile one, we have this kind of grayish blue feather. They're all kind of varying degrees of gray here. Pile two is this gray feather with kind of white stripes on the edges. And then pile three is this kind of dark grayish black feather with like a white splotch, which is very scientific sounding, but yeah, so that's pile three. So just let your intuition guide you to a pile. I am going to put timestamps for the piles in the description box and in the comments below, and we are going to get started now with pile number one. Hi group one. So if you chose the kind of grayish blue feather, then this is your reading, so welcome. We are going to start with your tarot and oracle cards and then do your charms at the end, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. So let's figure out what messages you need to hear. So for your tarot, you have the Empress, the Four of Torches, or the Four of Wands, and the Five of Rocks, or the Five of Pentacles. So with these cards, I'm feeling like you are feeling kind of left out in the cold at the moment, or you have been feeling left out in the cold, like just you've been really in this sense of lack and feeling like you don't have enough. This is very much an energy of not feeling like you have enough. With the snow too, that winter energy always makes me think of feeling like you don't have enough. You're in kind of hibernation mode maybe. You're feeling like you're pulling away from other people around you, your loved ones. And I think that the cards are encouraging you to reconnect with them. Because with the Empress and Four of Torches, it's especially focused on family. Because all three of these cards have like children in them, so children might be in this situation, but otherwise it just has to do with family. And all the foxes too are really kind of standing out. So that might be a spirit animal for you as well. But this is telling me that you really need to connect with people, nurture yourself, allow other people to nurture you, allow people to kind of protect you and care for you, because notice this fox is like standing watch for his family. And I think a lot of you need to allow yourself to be helped and allow yourselves to be nurtured, because with the Empress, she's very nurturing. She's very abundant. She's like the mother energy of the deck, sorry. And I feel like that's something that you are very good at, but you're not necessarily as adept at accepting help or accepting love from other people in like a caring way. Like I feel like you're so used to taking care of other people, you don't allow yourself to be cared for. And then you're going to be out of balance, you're going to be feeling that sense of lack, and you're going to drain yourself. So make sure that you are pampering yourself, allowing other people to pamper you, celebrating your milestones as well. With that Four of Torches, that's definitely like milestones, making sure that you're connecting with the people around you, celebrating your successes too. But I want to see what your oracle cards have to say. So you have Villain. You can always rewrite the story, number 38. So I feel like a lot of you are maybe focusing too much on the negative, or you have been focusing too much on the negative, and so now you're in the position of changing how you see things. Maybe you're recognizing that you don't have to kind of feel like a victim, that the world is not against you. You have the power to change things. You can take your power back, and you can ask for the help you need. You can celebrate yourself. You can move on from the situations that don't work for you anymore, but you have the ability to change things and to rewrite how things are. Especially, I'm getting this extra message too, that for some of you, the villain that you're noticing in your life is yourself. Not just against yourself, but I feel like some of you maybe feel like you hurt somebody else. and recognize that you don't have to keep punishing yourself or neglecting yourself in order to make up for something you did to somebody else. Because I'm almost feeling like some of you got so burnt out that you felt the sense of lack, and then you either blew up on somebody or you retreated without saying anything, like maybe you ghosted somebody. But this is saying, you don't have to beat yourself up over that or punish yourself by retreating more. You can rewrite the story, but just recognize that you can move forward. You don't have to stay stuck in that cyclical energy where you just keep punishing yourself for doing that, and then because you punished yourself by doing that, it just keeps cycling, where you just keep getting into this self-sabotaging cycle. You have stuck energy, which is the number 8 of the energy cards. So yeah, I definitely feel like you're feeling very stuck. You're having a hard time seeing the blessings in front of you or the ability to change things. But he's got this rainbow behind him with like the sparkles. So I feel like there's this pot of gold at the end of the rainbow that he's just not noticing because he's so focused on what he did wrong or like what he's stuck in. I feel like he's feeling very stuck, but he's also like, man, I should have seen this coming. Like that's kind of the energy I'm getting, is just feeling like you're punishing your past self for a choice you made, but now because of that, you're not making a different choice for the future. So I think that's where it's saying get out of that energy and come back into the world again. You have desire, number 3. So a lot of you, I think, need to focus on what you want to happen, what you desire, and not what you're afraid of or what you did wrong in the past. Have this more present and future focus to it, to the way that you see the world. And really focus on what you're passionate about, what you want. If this is a relationship, focus on what you love about the other person. Don't focus on the hatred for yourself, because I feel like there's a lot of self-hatred kind of coming out for some of you. And this is saying don't focus on that. Focus on the love and focus on the passion. Focus on what you want to happen, because you draw in what you focus on. You have looking deeper. Deep within me is a majestic radiance. So yeah, I think a lot of you need to really see your good points as well as your bad, and recognize that whatever this action was up here, if this was a negative action, recognize that that usually comes from hurt or it comes from unmet needs, and recognize what that need is, and then you can really fix the actual problem and not the symptom of the problem. Because I think a lot of you are like self-medicating or just fixing the surface level things, and you're not looking deeply enough into what caused the situation in the first place. This also talks about really noticing how radiant you are. So with that Empress energy, really loving yourself, recognizing how beautiful you are, how wonderful you are, all of your good points. I think you need to start noticing those. And then looking more deeply at a situation too. So recognizing where you can get unstuck, recognizing the opportunities you might have missed, things like that. You have Watermelon Dragon, success. So yeah, you definitely have the ability to bring success into your life. You have the ability to be successful. I think some of you have successes in your life already to speak of, like things are already going well for you, but you're so focused on the lack or what you screwed up that you're not seeing the success that you can celebrate. That's what that Four of Torches is talking about, is celebrating those successes. And I think this is just saying focus on that, recognize success is coming into your life, it might already be here, just embrace that, quit focusing on what you did wrong, focus on what you did right and what you can do right. And then finally, you have sacred. So I think a lot of you, again, need to recognize the good things in yourself, recognize the beauty in yourself, make that sacred space for yourself to be nurtured, be pampered, really focus on that self-care. I think recognizing your worth even when you make a mistake as well is going to be important, because I think many of you punish yourselves for the mistakes that you make, and there's no need to do that. Recognize it's all a learning process. You're not going to punish a little kid for making a mistake because they're learning. It's all this new energy. So when you are trying to do something new, if you have a setback, recognize it for what it is, which is just a setback, and then get up and try again or re-strategize. There are so many things you can do, but punishing yourself does not have to be one of them. And then before I forget, I do want to flip over your feather. So you have Heron. Let go of convention and follow your own unique path. So I think some of you maybe feel tethered to the way that your family has done things for years. Maybe the way that you have done things forever, like since this is saying you can always rewrite the story. maybe this is something where you've been doing things for so long and you just feel stuck in that because that's all you know. You know it's a bad habit, or you just feel like this is always the way your life goes. So you just get stuck in that endless cycle. But this, maybe rewriting the story is about rewriting ancestral patterns. You know, maybe you have family who has lived in the same town forever, or who always had the same kind of bad luck, or you come from a line of divorces, or from a line of people who have major addiction issues, or something like that, where it's you're giving your power away because you feel like because the people in the past have done that or have experienced that, you are also sentenced to experiencing the same thing. I feel like some of you almost are like, oh, I'm cursed, you know, my family's cursed. Like you get into that energy, and that's just going to bring in more of that because that's all you're focused on. You just see the negative outcomes. You're not seeing the abundance that's right in front of you. So just make sure that you are focusing some of your energy on that abundance. Recognize you can change things moving forward. So we are going to get your charms now for some more information, and we are going to use the heart to figure out what's in the heart of the situation. Okay, so group 1. In the heart you have the moon. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of emotional energy coming up. The dark side of things as well, because the moon represents the dark and the sun is on the other side that represents the light. So right now things are feeling kind of foggy. You feel like you're giving into old habits. You just are feeling kind of down on yourself, and it's that 5 of Pentacles energy, the sense of lack and everything. But you don't have to stay stuck in that. But I think that's where you're at right now. But I think the moon is also about intuition. It's about dreams, and it's also about illusions, because your fears can sometimes grow in that kind of dark space. Like if you can't see straight, you don't know what's that shadow. Is it just a shadow, or is it some looming figure? You know, it's that kind of energy that you're maybe indulging in your fears so much that things are turning out to look bigger than they actually are. So we have mom here. So some of you might be parents. I mean, that's the Empress energy is definitely mom energy. And this also a lot of the time means that someone who has crossed over, who's passed, is reaching out to you. So if you have a mom or a mom figure, like a grandmother or like another kind of motherly figure in your life, they might be reaching out just to say hi and to kind of emphasize this message for you. So keep that in mind. That might resonate for some of you. You have the bowler hat, so that talks about working hard, but really feeling down on your luck too, because it always makes me think of like working class, really working hard, but those bowler hats were made to be a little bit hard-headed so that if they'd hit their head, it was protected. So I do feel like a lot of you are anticipating a lot of difficult work, a lot of kind of bad situations coming up that you're trying to protect yourself from. You have the mermaid, so diving into the depths. Some of you are diving into the depths of your emotions as well. And this is also making me think of like being part of your world, like you're wanting to leave your world and enter a new one, but you're just feeling like it can never happen for you because other people wanted that and you know, you've never achieved it yet. You have family who didn't achieve it, and so you can't, you're stuck. But that's not necessarily true. You have laugh. So I think a lot of you need to make time to laugh and have fun. I think that's going to help break you out of some of this negative energy as well. You have always with the heart. So some of you might have somebody who's always loving you. It could be this mother figure. It could be somebody else. You could always come back to the same person. Maybe there's somebody that you're really wanting to connect to. You have, I think this was on when, but then when I tried to pick it up, it flipped to hug. So when, maybe some of you are wondering when things will change and feeling like they never will. And then that hug also is kind of making me think of that like spiritual energy. Maybe you're getting a hug from somebody. That also could be just you want to hug someone, you want to reach out to someone. There's a lot of love here and a lot of like protective love, familial love, and like just very nurturing love. It's that Empress energy, I'm telling you. You have number 11, number 16, so those could be significant dates for you, or months even, like November might be standing out for you, but otherwise those could just be significant numbers. You have Gemini here, and you also have Leo energy. So those could be significant for you. So those could be signs that resonate with you or with someone else, but Gemini is the Lover's card, so love coming up again. Gemini is also like the twins. So it makes me think of like two sides of the situation, two facets of your personality, but there's just that energy of two and like kind of the yin and yang aspect of like two sides of the same coin. With the Leo energy, that's like passion and sometimes standing out. So some of you might be wanting something like performative, like you want to stand out a little bit more, you know, your own unique path. You don't want to hang on to convention anymore, but you're just too afraid. You have the lone wolf. So that talks about feeling like you have to do everything on your own. Maybe you feel like you're sentenced to walk your own path forever, like you'll never find love, and this is telling you you will. You just have to be open to it, and you have to embrace it when it comes into your life and not push it away, because I definitely feel this energy of like pushing people away. And keep in mind that wolves are pack animals as well, so make sure that you are relying on your pack, because you have that Four of Wands, you know, the pack is there. I think a lot of you really do need to connect with people again. Like that word connect is just coming through. So connecting with the people around you in spirit and the people physically around you in your world as well. Then you have number 2 also. So that could be another number, a significant date. It could be February, but 2 also makes me think of two people. So with the twins, you know, with Gemini, the lovers, like there's just a lot of this energy of two people, two halves of the same coin. So if this is a relationship for a lot of you, I think reach out to them. Like, especially if you've ghosted them, reach out. Just, you know, try to connect. If that's something you're feeling drawn to do, stop keeping yourself stuck. And then you have Anubis. So that talks about the afterlife. It talks about, like crossing over. It talks about being protected throughout lifetimes and after this life. And it just makes me think of like the death energy, the transformative energy, you know, the end of this kind of era in this world and the beginning of a new one. And that's really what this is talking about, is letting go of those things that don't work, letting go of that old conventional energy because that's not serving you, allowing yourself to walk your own unique path. So group 1, I hope that this resonated. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button for me and subscribe to my channel if you've not already done so. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi group 2, so if you chose the dark gray feather with kind of the white stripes on the sides, then this is your message. Welcome. So we're going to start with your tarot and oracle cards and then do your charms at the end, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. So let's figure out what messages you need to hear. For your tarot, you have Temperance, the Devil, and Mindfulness, which is an additional card just for this particular deck. So all of those are majors. I know Mindfulness is not usually a major, but because it's an added card, usually they kind of stick that in the majors category. But these are big energies, so I feel like there's definitely some major change going on right now. So with Temperance and the Devil, I feel like you're needing to take things a little bit more in moderation. Maybe you've been indulging too much lately, because the Devil is about indulgence. It's about feeling stuck, feeling like you don't have control over your own life. Temperance is about patience and doing things in moderation. It's about blending several energies and finding the right kind of blend that you feel is sustainable. It's about healing. But I feel like a lot of you are in this phase where you've been overindulging, or you've been feeling stuck and like you've been kind of in a victim mentality, like you felt like a victim of your circumstances, or like you can't change things. But Temperance is telling you that you can, especially because this version has this butterfly here, and butterflies are all about change. And if you want a starting point for this change, mindfulness is what you need to focus on. Just making sure that you are kind of taking note of things around you, just slowing down a little bit, slowing down your mind, trying to focus only on one thing at a time, maybe meditating if that's something that you resonate with, that you want to try, but just really doing things intentionally. So not being on autopilot, just slowing down, being very conscious of how you're feeling, how your body is feeling, what your mental state is like, emotionally how you're feeling, you know, just being very aware of yourself and the things around you. So we are going to get your oracle cards now. So first you have Homeward, take yourself out on a date, number 42. So some of you, I think, need to just spend some time with yourself and maybe pamper yourself a little bit. Just do something just for you. maybe do something you've never tried before. Like, really, I think reconnecting with yourself is important, because the devil can sometimes be toxic relationships. It doesn't have to be a toxic relationship with a person, it can be a toxic relationship to a coping mechanism, or a toxic relationship to a past memory, just something that you feel has had power over you kind of unnecessarily. Like, it's something that you've given your power to and you have the power to break it off, but I think it's important to really focus on yourself and to not give that any more power. And taking yourself out on a date, just slowing down, noticing things around you. I almost feel like going out in the morning, like sipping your coffee and being very mindful of how each sip tastes, you know, the temperature, the flavor, things like that. Looking at the birds outside, listening to the wind, you know, just little things like that. I think making that time for yourself to just notice those things will help you. You have family, friends, and guides, and that's the 6 of the spirit cards. So I think relying on the people around you is going to be important. I think you have support around you, even if you don't feel like you do. So if you're feeling very stuck, like you don't have any power over your circumstances, or you feel like you're alone in this, yes, you need to focus on things alone, but you also have all this support. So whether that's family and friends around you currently, or family and friends in spirit, spirit guides, you know, but you do have support around you. So just try to check in with those people and allow yourself to be helped by them. You have purification, number 41. So yeah, with the devil, this totally makes sense, especially with temperance as well, like tempering that devil energy. Purifying, just getting rid of what doesn't serve you, you know, clearing away clutter, clearing away those toxic habits, making sure that you're maybe eating healthier, hydrating better. There's just a lot of stuff that I think you can do to really help your body, help your mind. Mindfulness can also be about purifying your thoughts as well, trying to get rid of the judgments that we attach to our thoughts. So if you screw something up and you're like, oh, I'm so dumb, I can't believe I did that, try to remove the judgment and just notice what happened and what you can do differently next time. You know, just leaving it neutral and as objective as possible. You have embarking on an adventure. I savor the wonders of the world. So that kind of ties in with the mindfulness, like take yourself out on a date energy as well. Just really kind of seeing everything with new eyes. Some of you might actually be going on an adventure, maybe planning a trip or trying something that you've never done before. There's just this very kind of motivated energy, and I think in order to get that motivation back, you have to break free of whatever this devil situation is, and that's going to vary for everybody. I think you all know what your own personal situation is, but in order to really, I think, enjoy this, you have to start practicing those little things, the purification, the mindfulness. Just you have to use those resources to clear away the stuff that doesn't work for you anymore. You have pineapple dragon, hospitality. So hospitality makes me think of like inviting people over, inviting people in. It can be literally inviting people over, allowing people into your space and being kind of accommodating to them, but it also makes me think of hospitality like how you create your home within your own skin, especially because you have homeward, take yourself out on a date. That just makes me think of making sure that your mind, your body, your space is a pleasant place to be. So making sure that you are treating yourself kindly and even pampering yourself a little bit. Like if you imagine that you're a guest in your own home or a guest in your body, like how would you treat them then? You know, elevate that experience a little bit so that you are treating yourself better than you do normally, like removing that harshness from how you look at yourself. And then you have tribulation. So with tribulation, I feel like a lot of you have been struggling with things, and I think you're maybe noticing a lot of these tribulations more. I might actually read from the book to see if there's some extra help here. So let me see if I can find the page. Okay. It's interesting to see that something that can cause so much pain can also be so useful. The Tower card from the tarot deck, as well as death, both speak to tribulation as a catalyzing agent. The things that cause us the most pain can sometimes also be the things that bring out the best in us. Separation, loss, failure, these are all bitter pills to swallow, but can lead to great strength and new opportunity. Isn't that just what I was saying? Like that purification, really recognizing within those difficult situations, you can kind of elevate it. Like what I was saying with hospitality, elevate your experience. I think recognizing the lessons in those situations as well will help you. And I think that you can turn these negative situations into something more positive. And before I forget, I do want to flip over your feather card as well, because we will reveal your bird here. So you have woodpecker. Use your discernment and fortitude to achieve your goals and find a new rhythm. Okay, so that fits a lot with what I was talking about, discerning what works for you, what doesn't, finding a new rhythm that fits with purification, with the devil, with that temperance card, just recognizing that you don't have to keep doing things the same way you always have, and recognizing that you can change things. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You have the power over your own life. You can find that new rhythm and take these tribulations and turn them into something positive. So we are going to get your charms now for some more information. So let's use the heart to figure out what's in the heart of the situation. All right, so you guys got a ton of charms. I was feeling that as they were coming out, they just wanted to keep coming out. You have a ton in the heart, so might have to kind of pull this out so that we can see a little better, and I'm just going to kind of tuck them up here so I don't have to try to place them back in here. Okay. So you have the spider in the web. That fits because with that devil card, that was a spider in a web. So that makes me think you can either look at things as being stuck, or you can recognize that you are the creator of your own reality. You can weave your own web. The umbrella talks about protecting yourself even when you don't necessarily need to, like if you're being prepared, but sometimes that means you're over prepared and you're kind of burdening yourself with something you don't need. You have the leopard, so leopards can't change their spots, but this is telling me that you can. You can change things if they're not working for you anymore. You can discover new ways of doing things and start accommodating yourself, start implementing those new ways of doing things, and start kind of shifting how you look at the world, how you approach things, just shifting your approach. You have the moon with the heart here. So that makes me think of like dreaming big. Sometimes it can be relationships, but I do feel like there's a very emotional energy surrounding you right now. So that might be why you're feeling stuck as well. You have the squirrel here. So that talks about your investments paying off, like kind of squirreling things away for the future. So you might have been saving money, but just doing those little things every day, that hard work all the time will pay off for you. So just make sure that you are kind of investing in yourself. And then you have the two hearts here. So that makes me think of your family, friends, and guides card, but also it's just making me think of like romantic relationships. Like we've got the heart with the moon here too. So it could be romantic relationships you're after. Maybe that's the toxic situation that's kind of coming up for you. But overall, I think just connecting with your loved ones, that will kind of help you. And you will find the right blend of people for you. If you haven't been able to find the right people yet, clearing the bad away, clearing away the things that don't work for you anymore will make room for the right things. Yeah, you have a couple symbols here of like clearing away things that don't work for you. So the fish skeleton and the bone. So any kind of bones is making me think of things from the past that remain. So things that are still kind of haunting you, it's not necessarily serving you anymore. Get rid of them. You have the teapot. So that makes me think of, again, getting together with friends. So I think if you are looking for better friends, you will find them. And if you do have current people around you who love you, who support you, connect with them. Make sure that you're not isolating yourself. Healing is happening because the starfish grow back their limbs. So that's a really good symbol when you're trying to heal. That kind of goes with that temperance energy as well. You have the windmill, so using those difficult situations to power yourself forward. So the windmill takes the wind and it creates power. So that always makes me think of using those difficult situations to create power in your life, to create forward momentum, seeing things from a higher perspective. And again, travel, adventure. We've got the mask here. So I think taking off your mask is going to help you meet the right people and create the right life for yourself, making sure that you're not trying to fit in with other people and betraying yourself in the process. You have the little violin here. So this can mean that there's like a musical situation that is coming up for you, like connecting through music, needing to be creative. But this also makes me think of like the sad little violin, like that kind of pity me energy where you're really feeling down on your luck, down on yourself, just feeling like nothing can go right. So that's just saying knock that off. If that's the energy you keep getting into, pull yourself out of that, get moving on, focus on better things, recognize that you do have power to change your life. You have this little like bunny head here. So this makes me think of the tortoise and the hare. It's making me think of recognizing that getting ahead by leaps and bounds, like one, leap at a time, that's not always going to be the best way to do things. So sometimes you get ahead that way, but if you remember the tortoise and the hare, slow and steady wins the race. That kind of goes with the squirrel energy that we had about your little investments paying off. So if you feel like you're moving forward slowly, it's still steps forward. You don't have to make these giant grand leaps forward, because a lot of the time then you burn out or you get cocky and you take a nap instead of moving forward continuously, and sometimes that's necessary. But in the case of that story, the hare ended up kind of getting cocky and taking a nap, and then he ended up losing the race because he just thought he would win no matter what. So slow and steady wins the race. I think that's the energy you have to embrace right now. This whirlpool makes me think that you're feeling like you keep getting sucked into something. So maybe it is that toxic situation. Maybe it's just your emotional state right now. You have the duck. So a lot of the time, this makes me think of ducks paddling under the surface. Like you can't see them. It looks like everything's going smoothly, but you look under the surface and their feet are paddling away. So you don't necessarily have to tell people what you're doing. You know what progress you're making. So just recognize that you don't necessarily have to kind of qualify yourself to anybody else. You have the little butterfly here, so change and transformation. That's kind of what we were highlighting with the temperance energy too, with that butterfly and the bear's nose. And then we have why. So this could be a significant letter or initial for you, but it could also mean why. Like, why is this happening? Why did I do that? I just feel like you might be asking yourself why a lot. So I'm hoping that this resonates for you, group 2. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you've not already done so. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi, group 3. So if you chose the dark gray or black feather with the big white splotch, then this is your message, so welcome. We are going to start with your tarot and oracle cards and then do your charms at the end, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. So let's just figure out what messages the cards have for you. So you have 7 of shells for your tarot. You have the wild, which is one of the additional cards in this deck. It's interesting because group 2 also got one of the additional cards. And then you got justice. So I feel like there's this need right now to connect with your authentic self. That's really what the wild makes me think of, is connecting with the purest, most authentic version of you, not necessarily catering to someone else's whims or trying to make yourself fit in. And with 7 of shells, I feel like maybe you're having trouble making a choice of what you want or what kind of life you want or what to do. There's this kind of dreamy energy, like you're looking at all your options, but the one up here, I feel like you want this one, but then you're like, oh, there's all these other options. And as you're looking at all those other options, even though you've already decided, the benefits and the blessings from this one are kind of spilling out. So I feel like there's this energy of don't avoid kind of embracing the choice that you've already made because you're tempted by all these other great options. I don't think that you'll go wrong with any option. Just make sure that when you pick one, you go with that choice and you don't kind of get stuck in that chaotic, indecisive energy. And then with justice. So justice is about balance. It's about fairness. It's about karma coming in as well. It's about making the most logical choice a lot of the time, making sure that you're weighing all your options, weighing the pros and cons. But I do think that there's this big decision here, and I think you need to make sure that you are making the most authentic decision for yourself and not necessarily for somebody else. But let's figure out what your oracle cards have to say. So you have universe, we're all just stardust, number 31. So this makes me think of just kind of acknowledging your connection to everything and recognizing that even if you make a choice, like I feel like this is that energy of like worrying that if you make the wrong choice, it's going to send you down a terrible path. But with that 7 of shells, 7 of cups energy, that's saying you can't necessarily make a wrong choice, but you just have to make a choice. And then this is making me think of like getting that perspective where it's like, you know, we're so small in the scheme of everything, so just make the choice that you feel is right for you. You know, you don't have to try to make some kind of great groundbreaking choice. Just make the choice that you feel like you want to make deep down. And then you have sword, make the change, number 7. So I think a lot of you are maybe debating whether or not to change something. Like you're trying to decide if you want to cut someone out, change your appearance somehow. She's about to cut her hair here, kind of Mulan energy there, with cutting her hair with the sword. It could just mean that there's some big change that you want to make in your career or some change you want to make in your mindset. But I do feel like you're debating whether or not to make this change, and what if it turns out badly? Like that's kind of the energy I'm getting. You have happy success, which is the number 8 of consciousness cards. So I feel like that's saying that whatever choice you make, it's going to turn out awesome. Like this isn't even just like, yeah, it'll turn out fine. This is like, look at how happy this guy is. I mean, he's just super joyful. Like it's radiating from him. I love kind of the parallel in these cards too, because it looks like he's holding the stars in his hands, and that's what she's doing in this card as well. She's holding the stars in her hands. So I feel like that's kind of symbolizing all the choices you have, and that whatever choice you make, it will turn out wonderfully. You just have to make that choice, because I think a lot of you have been paralyzed by all the decisions you could make, and you end up not making any decision at all, which is still a decision, but it's going to keep you stuck. You have wisdom, number 22. So with wisdom, that's definitely kind of going with that justice energy as well. I think using your inner wisdom to make sure that you are making the right choice for you. Maybe even talking to a mentor or someone whose opinion you trust to help you make a decision if you really are feeling that stuck. Sometimes it takes that little nudge, because I think a lot of you have the type of people in your life who will say, hey, what do you want? Or what do you picture your life being like? Or here's what you've always said you wanted to do. You know, why are you doubting yourself now? You know, just somebody who's very motivating and helpful. And I feel like with this, like tarot card, and like, I'm not sure if this is a tarot deck or like a book of spells or something, but I think a lot of you, maybe that's why you're looking to tarot, is trying to see if the choice you're making is the right choice. And this is saying, yes, it will turn out well. You just have to listen to yourself. You don't need that external assistance, but that might just kind of help you confirm with yourself what you already know. You have embracing the future. I step into the future with an open heart. So I think a lot of you are kind of stuck between the past and the future right now. Like you're debating whether something from your past is still working for you, or whether to make that change and look at a totally different future than you've experienced before. Like it's going to feel like a totally different life. But I think you are excited about that, but you just don't know what's coming. Because even in justice, it's like dark over here, you know? You make that decision, you're not exactly sure what the future holds. But I think that's why it's important to embrace your authenticity, so that you know kind of in your gut what is right. You have garlic dragon, boundaries. So I do think there are some people who are kind of trying to influence your decision, and it's important for you to set that boundary and make sure that you're not allowing people to kind of push you around or to live their own lives through you. Because I think a lot of people who are unhappy with their lives, or who feel like they missed their chance, or who are yearning for the good old days, want other people to make those choices so that they can kind of live vicariously through them. And I kind of want to be like, you know what, read a book then, because just trying to live your life through someone else, it just doesn't work. You know, it's not necessary. Let other people live their own lives. And then finally, you have adventure. So I do think that you are embarking on a new adventure. You're embracing the future. You're trying something you've never tried before. And all 3 piles have kind of had the same-ish energy of like embracing your true self, moving forward, allowing yourself to get excited about the future again. And I think a lot of it too is this collective energy that we've been on pause for so long that now it's time to really get excited about what's to come. And before I forget, I want to flip your feather card as well. So you got magpie. Reevaluate your priorities. It is time to let go of what you no longer need. Yes. Okay. That's exactly what I was talking about, is that these choices, you don't need them anymore. You know, you don't need whatever people are trying to convince you to do. You can set boundaries. You can make that change. There's just this energy of like, yes, make the choice, move forward. I think you already know what that is. I feel like a lot of you have already weighed out the pros and cons and you know what you're going to pick. But now you're second guessing yourself and you're going, oh, what if, you're playing the what if game and wondering, will it turn out? And this is saying it will. It might not turn out immediately where you can see all the results right away, but just trust and keep moving forward. So we are going to get your charms now for some more information. We're going to use the heart to figure out what's in the heart of the situation as well. All right, so group 3. In the heart today, you got the monkey, so playful energy. It could have some other significance for you as well, but that makes me think of like monkey bars as well, like swinging from branch to branch. Like you have to let go of the past to move into the future. So make sure that you are letting go of the past so that you can swing in to the future and not feel like you're staying stuck, because you can't hang on to the bar behind you and also keep moving forward. To move to the next step, you have to let go and kind of take that leap of faith and then grab the next one. You have the sun, so that's a symbol of success and happiness and joy and things turning out well, clarity if you're feeling like things are unclear. And then you have the 2 compatible hearts. So a lot of you maybe are trying to decide on a relationship, or you just want to bond a little more with the people around you. If you have kind of a soulmate level friendship or romantic relationship or family member that you feel you really trust, I think this is a good time to connect with them. Cut out all the opinions of the people who you don't feel like have your best interest at heart, and who you feel like you don't maybe resonate with their advice, and only take the advice of the people that you feel know you inside and out. So you have number 9 here. So 9s are about endings. 9 is also the hermit energy. It's really checking in with yourself, seeing what you want, taking that time alone to really kind of clear your head, figure out what's right for you. The dragonfly is transformation and change, and also a symbol of good luck. You have the star, so that's wishes coming true, that's hope and faith and healing. You have the book, so that makes me think of writing your own story. You have the power over that. You are the author of your own life, so just don't give that power away to anyone else. You have the overflowing heart here. So I think a lot of you are feeling a lot of emotions right now, but I do think you're feeling very split about what you want, because there's this split here and this side looks very different from this side. So I think a lot of you are feeling like, do I do what people expect me to do, or do I do what I want to do? So you know the answer to that, so just trust in yourself. You have the cherries here, so that makes me think of sweetness and temptation. So maybe this is something that a lot of people think is a bit risky, but sometimes risks are necessary to move forward in life. Like I was saying with the monkey bars, you have to let go of the past to move into the future, and that requires that leap of faith. You have more transformation energy with the little butterfly here. You have believe, and I'm seeing another word down here. What is it? Oh, and you have love. So a lot of you, this might be like a relationship situation, because you have Cupid as well as your final charm. So maybe you're letting go of a relationship that's just gotten really stale and that you feel like you've outgrown each other, and people are like, no, you've been together so long, just leave it, it'll be fine. This is how all relationships are. And I think if you know that it's time to leave, you know the answer. Like, you know what you want in your gut, in your core. So just make sure you're listening to yourself, because I think something fresh and new and exciting is coming your way. And if you're in a relationship where you want to stay and that's what you're leaning towards, then I think a new spark is going to hit you as well. Because Cupid, I feel like, is that energy that's supporting you right now, that fresh, new, exciting energy. And if the relationship thing doesn't kind of resonate with you, then this could just be passion for life, passion for a new path, or even for yourself as well, like really falling in love with yourself and your own traits, your own characteristics, your own passions. So yeah, I hope that this resonates for you, Group 3. This is an awesome message. I would love to hear if it resonates, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you've not already done so. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.